No, look at that, right in front of us. Did you see that, guys? If you want the gills, we got the skills right here at 302 Fishing. Welcome back to the channel here. If you're brand new and you're still hanging around and you haven't already done so, smash that subscribe button, click that notification bell, give us a big fat thumbs up if you like any of our episodes, drop a comment below, and follow us on Instagram at 302 Fishing. Guys, it is muggy, nasty, hot. Ugh, it's just gross out here. It's Delaware weather, as we always tell you, but you can look right over my back right here, and I'm sure any fisherman out here knows what I'm going to be throwing out on this pond right here. We've not done an episode this year as of yet. You saw us out with a buzzbait. That was our first top water episode. But we're going to come back out and fish with frogs today. That's one of my favorite things to do in the summer. Problem is, this pond right here is kind of low, so we know these fish are going to be way deep, again, into these algae beds that are over here, but we're going to try our darndest to try to get these fish to strike up on that particular bait. Obviously, they're going to feel the frog coming across, the actual weight of the body itself, but we're going to try to give a little bit extra vibration inside of there. Most people put glass rattles inside of the frogs. I don't do that. I accidentally found trout rattles that were at a local store right down the road for me, and they're perfect size to fit right inside the belly right there where that hook is at. And I put 2 of them in there, and that extra little vibration really draws these fish in, and they're able to locate that frog a lot better than just having just a frog itself coming across here, because again, some of these mats are pretty thick. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the frogs that I have up in the car. I'm going to tie them on the end of the line right here. We're going to go ahead and start casting around here, guys, and hopefully, if we're lucky, we get a big fat green bean bag on. So we're out here on a community pond, 10,000 pounds of muck all around here. We don't have this tiny little open section right here that we're not going to mess with, because I've already worn my glasses, my 9s that I have, and there's nothing going on in this section here. I don't see any movement, so I'm assuming everything is going to be underneath all of this as we go around this pond, and hopefully it'll start picking up as the sun starts going down a little bit. Don't ask me what the make of this frog is. Again, it's a popular one I like to use because, again, it does put a lot of fish on the end of the line. Don't go cracking on me on the appendages. It's really not going to matter right here because, again, we're not coming across the open water. All they're going to do is feel this big part right here coming across there and the vibration from the rattles that are in here. So they're going to try to locate it by vibration. Now, obviously, if I'm in open water, then that's what I would worry about, the appendages and everything else. I always carry 2 different styles of frogs, one of each of the same make. So whatever application I have something on the ready. But let's go ahead and get this frog action going on here. See how long it takes for us to get something on the end of the line here. But I got a feeling it's going to take us a little bit just to get the action going because, again, the sun has been beaming all day long. It's been in the 90s. So I'm sure these fish are going to be super, super lethargic. But we're not going to go any kind of fast motion. Just a couple pops, let it pause. Especially in these open areas, just let the frog sit right there. And again, sometimes they do come crashing through all the muck. But this side that we're on is kind of the shallower side. That's why I want to get it out of the way first and then concentrate my efforts over on the back side so the sun comes down. Because again, it's going to be cooling down. And I'm sure those big old fish will be in the deeper water. Oh, look at that, right in front of us. Did you see that, guys? Oh, crap. You see how deep he is? From here to there is the edge. That's a good 20 foot. But that was a decent sized bass that just crashed up out of there. So we can get him to come up again. That was insane how close that fish was, though. Try it one more time. And obviously it sounds like we get repetitive every time we go and film these episodes, especially these frog episodes. Don't smash the fish at the explosion. Give it a half a second. Let the fish get the bait in its mouth and then strike. There it is. See it, guys? Came right up out of the water. Small one. He's about a pound maybe. He totally missed it, man. He got to the side of it and whiffed on it. He's still there, though. All right, that's a good sign, though. That's a good sign. See if we can get it on a third time. looks like we got some more fishermen coming out. It's amazing how that works, guys, right? Got the pond to yourself, and then magically people just start appearing. There you go. There you go. Got him. See that gigantic explosion? I knew it was a matter of time for that fish got it. Boom. Like I said, about a pound. Woo. That's why I love topwater fishing, man. It's so cool just to see them to come through that crap and just obliterate these frogs. There you go. That's the guy who's causing all the commotion right there. But let's get that fish back in there. And she's gone. And this is the ravages that are left over from that fish hitting that bait. Discombobulated the hook right off of the body. And of course picked up about a half pound of crap. I knew if I teased him enough he was going to get it. But that was literally right in front of me, right at my feet. So before I throw my other cast out here, one thing I need to let you guys know is, again, obviously be aware of your surroundings. As I always mention to you many times, you're looking around your surroundings and seeing how you can catch fish and everything else, but be careful what you're around. Obviously you see a whole bunch of algae that's all out here and everything else like that. And on these hot, sticky days, you're gonna be sweating your rear end off all the time. And your habit is, when you got sweat coming down your face and everything else like that, is to go ahead and put your hands to your face and wipe the sweat off. You don't wanna do that. I always use the back of my hand right here, mainly because, especially in our state, and I'm sure in some temperate areas down south and everything else, they've got to worry about blue-green algae. Some, like Florida's got the red tide going on, I think that's what it's called. And also, you have bacteria that are in there. There's amoebas or whatever it is that comes out and eats your brain out. I mean, it's very rare, but it does happen. But you're going to be handling a lot of this muck when you're taking it off the frog, and as well taking it off the fish. And again, you don't want to put your hands across any orifice that's on your body, such as your ears, your nose, your mouth, any kind of open cuts, man. Make sure you got a band-aid on or something like that, so this stuff that's mixing in with all this algae doesn't end up causing you any kind of further health problems, whether it be immediate or later on down the line, because it could really affect you and screw you up. So just be aware of that. That's what I always do. But not wanting to scare people, but things like that happen. You occasionally read those articles where kids are, like, especially with the brain-eating amoebas, they're swimming in water like this, but there's algae like that, and they don't hold their nose and their mouths, and they end up swallowing it. There you go, there's one right there, guys, big one, I think. And they end up swallowing all that crap in them. That fish blew up on it as we were speaking. That's bigger than the other one, guys, about 1.5 pounds. All right. That's a rare one, guys. I'm catching while I'm talking, because usually I miss it. But man, that was a nice little roll up on that bait. It wasn't a huge blow up, but I'm feeling good about this episode. So when we get down near that pipe down there, man, that should be a good thing for us. And the one thing I'm noticing here is I forgot my scale and my pliers once again. So let's go ahead and get that fish in there. We'll go ahead and grab that stuff in case we catch a big one, and we can weigh the fish. She gone. There you go. So they're literally sitting in the areas where it's broken up. That's not in the solid parts there where we're getting these little blow ups. All right, let's get our stuff here. I was just in a hurry just to get up here. That's the only reason I forgot it, but that's always, guys. I'm old. What do you expect? But I thought I had an extra lunker hunt frog, I think that's what it is, or spro. And I mentioned to you that I can put the rattles inside of the frog. which is pretty much all the frogs that you're using right now, but there are frogs on the market right now, namely the Guggen Filthy Frog, which I love to use. Excellent, excellent frog. So there's a lot of pros to that frog, but the one main drawback that it has a sealed bottom, guys. Because obviously, you know, throughout the years, it's got to squeeze to get the water out of there on those other frogs. Here, you don't have to do that. But I've caught some nice looking fish off of this colored frog here. So that's why I put it in my pocket, because I am getting some success right here on these pads right here. And I got a feeling if we end up losing that one right there, the Filthy Frog might come in a clutch. But scale, pliers, let's get back to work. All right, so we're down back where we were. I'm gonna spend about 5 or 10 more minutes in this area, and we're gonna start making our way up the shoreline over here. I do, like I said, want to throw a couple out here, just on the offbeat chance we do get one out of that crap. It's so thick. But it looks like right now, shallow, and again, in the broken up areas here. But it's good to throw into the deep area, because sometimes the fish do lay right on the edge right there too. And sometimes you get those blow-ups right there. That's the only reason why I cast into that section. I'm glad we got 2 right off the bat. That makes me happy. I've tried a couple times frogging here before this episode, and I was failing big time. And I was even filming right almost to dusk. You would think these fish would be hitting all over these frogs right at that time. Nothing doing. But we had multiple fronts that come through and kind of screw things up a little bit. But we got a kind of a steady pattern going on right now despite the heat. Nice. Oh my goodness gracious, did you see that gigantic blow up, guys? He totally missed the bait. So you saw that blow up there, and I always remember the Oakster, because he always taught me that just because you missed him once doesn't mean you just go somewhere else and cast again. You go right back over that same spot again, because sometimes the fish will strike twice, and you never know. It might be the biggest fish of your life. So let's get back to that section over here again. See if that fish will go after it. Let it rest for a second, and hopefully that fish is on target and hits that bait again. Also, just because you have braid on doesn't mean that this line is impervious to cuts and abrasions and everything else like that. You got to check it just like you check your regular monofilament and fluoro line, because it will break. I've lost plenty of frogs by not checking too after you hit a couple bass. There's a fish right there. Little ones. Right on the edge. Look, one just bopped right up underneath of it. You got it? There we go. Oh, I stumbled, man, and he got off. I just had a heartbreak, and of course the camera was off when it happened. I had almost a 3-pounder just absolutely annihilate this frog, and just as I got right to here, I went to try to change position with the rod. It shook off because I had like 9,000 pounds of this algae in there. I had to try to guide it out, but boy, they are beating it up over in that thick area, which I didn't think they were going to be in, but we're going to keep casting in there since we're getting a whole bunch of action right now. It takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to get this thing all cleared up. But let's get this frog back in order. Make sure we got some strength on there. We're good. It was absolute disappointment right there. One thing you must do when you're out fishing for frogs, it's just a habit that I get into, is when you're casting that frog, and as soon as that frog hits the mat, click that bail closed, because sometimes when that bait drops right there, the fish reacts on the drop, and you want to be ready for it. Lord knows I've missed a few fish that way. You're focused on what's going on straight ahead of you. You got 2 senses you want, visual and you want audio. Listen in your ears, because the fish will sometimes, without even putting anything in there, you're going to hear them blowing up from left to right underneath these algae beds. And you know me, I'm going to throw a frog beyond where I saw the blow up and come across it. And you got about a 50% chance that something's going to hit on that bait. Oh, did you see that? Right on the edge, man. I told you. Glad that sun tucked in a little bit. So you can get an idea from this vantage point of how the algae hangs here. Obviously it breaks up in the middle right here. The wind must have been blowing this way. That's why you see a big thick patch all the way down here. But when it gets super hot, this whole pond is covered up completely with all this algae. It has been absolutely dead since I've been on this side from the corner down to here. Oh. As soon as I hit that dark patch, man, it hit up on it, small one. Oh, there we go, big hit, big hit. I'm cramping up, little one. Super cramp in my left arm, guys. That's why you saw me strike it the way I did. It took us a long while. Look how dark the tannins are on that bass. Keep fighting, guys, keep fighting. She is dark as anything. Looks like he's got some kind of glaucoma. You can see the whiteness in its eyes. That's not a reflection. But boom, that fish absolutely destroyed it. And she's gone. I'm casting weak side, so bear with me with the way I'm striking these fish. All right, so we got nothing along the whole shoreline up here. All of our fish have been here right in the dark algae over in this corner here. I thought for sure we're gonna get something way back in the left-hand corner, but nothing off of that pipe. We have one little over the dink right here, but we're gonna get my duck boots on. We're gonna go right here since it's the least amount of cattails to get through. Toss a couple more times as the sun's going down and see if we can try to get another fish. Hopefully we can get that 3-pounder back. Last remaining steps here to go and change the footwear. That'll give me a perfect time to go ahead and cut the line, retie again, because the line's a little soft right here and I don't want us breaking off if we happen to land a decent one as we close the episode out. Retied and bootified. Let's make the move. Hope this effort's gonna be worth it. We got somewhat of a trail, and then it ends, and then we gotta wade through all the crap. This stuff's really hard to get through right here because it's so heavy and its weight. But we're gonna try to walk our way through this, watching for holes. Ouch, sticker bushes. We're almost there, about 10 feet. Gotta watch out, there's a sticker bush right to my right. All right, we got a clearing here. All I gotta do is just watch out from behind me here. Is there anything in here? That's the key, and it really stinks back in this corner. Come on, man, help me get rewarded with a big fat green bean bag. Here's a fish right on it. As I was trying to break stuff here, it sucked it in. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves over here. If anything, I think they're gonna be over in this area right here. Oh, he missed it by a foot. But it seems like this is where all the fish are congregating at, right on this end of the pond. Oh, there's a fish right there. He knocked me one. That's why I'm not moving it anymore. Probably about that much is all I'm moving it every time I'm jerking it, guys. Look at all those blackbirds all the way down there. There must be at least 10 or 20 of them sitting there all over these cattails. Oh, one came up right behind it. You can hear the plunking. Oh, see that? Oh, did you see the frog leap up in the air, guys? About a half a foot it jumped. It's all those dinks that are up close to me. Oh, has he got it? These little ones are killing me, man. They're so small they can't punch through that algae. Tell you one thing, this humidity just zaps the energy right out of you. That's why you kind of heard me being a little bit silent here, just trying to conserve the energy. Whoa. Oh, there you go. Came at it a second time. That was crazy, a double hit. I don't care how big they are, guys. That was fun. Somebody was hungry. Just give me a second to get the frog out of there. He got both those hooks in it, right on the upper part of his palate, which is a great spot. All right, got the hooks out. Oh, quick release. He wasn't having none of that. But look how he went after that frog. He destroyed it. You can see I went all the way to dusk to try to raise that 3-pounder back up again, and it just didn't work. But it turned out to be a productive episode. We did get a fair amount of bass to hit up on that frog. It's been brutal these past few weeks. I've been trying to get a frog bite going on, and it just absolutely is not happening with all this heat and humidity. These bass just do not want to move too much. They're lethargic, and you got to stick to the slow baits, you know, your plastics, or maybe a jerk bait, and just let it sit there for a good while. But these fish, because the water is so shallow, they're going to get overheated and just going to find whatever shade that they can find and just sit there and camp. But we got lucky on this episode right here where I got that frog out there. The temperature must have been just about right, and they started popping up out of those blooms. So as I mentioned to you, I couldn't remember the name of the frog that we used. I gave you 2 wrong makes, but the actual real make is the KVD Sexy Frog. This one in particular is the spring frog. That's what we were using right there. As I mentioned to you, I cut off the appendages right there. It doesn't really matter how long it is when you're up in that thick algae bloom that I told you about, because all they're worrying about is this part right here, the heavy part. But I added that little addition, and I think that little rattles attracted those bass a lot better, because I guarantee if I didn't have them in this frog right here, we would have never had the bites that we had that evening. So here's what I found at the bait store that's down by where I work at. It's a little fly rattle. That's what it is. It's for trout fishing, and it's about as big as your fingernail across your thumbnail. These things, man, I'm telling you, are savage. I put 2 of these inside of the body of the frog. If you notice, it's almost like a torpedo end right here, and right where that hook goes into the frog, it easily, when you wet the tip of that, it easily slips up into the frog itself right there. And like I said, when you shake the frog around, you can hear it. That little rattle as you're jigging it across those algae blooms triggers those bass, and you saw all of those little ones, multiple ones were over a pound, come through those blooms and smack the crap out of this frog. You even seen the frog hop a couple times because they couldn't come through because the bass were so small. But it was interesting to see, man. So I was so glad that we got something going on top water wise with the frog, because I've been trying for several episodes to try to get that going. But as I said, with this heat, these fish are lethargic and they're sitting still in that shade and they're not wanting to move at all. Basically, they're going after, you know, wacky rigs or Senkos or your bandito bugs, and you're fishing it real slow. That just seems to be the pattern right now. But I'm going to keep getting back out there. It looks like the weather's going to kind of get a little cooler during the week right here. This is episode 199. We're getting ready to come to another milestone before our 3,000 subscribers are getting ready to come up to very shortly. We're on video 200 as of this next episode coming up. I'm trying to figure out something to do besides bass fishing to celebrate that 200th episode. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are watching these videos, and you're sticking with us and allowing us to grow. As we mentioned, every time we're humbled by all of the enthusiasm with the episodes we bring up in front of you, and I try to do the best I can to bring you the best looking fish that I can, and many species that we can try to present too. Talk to Captain Frank. He and I are getting ready to plan something probably in about 2 weeks. He had messaged me because he hadn't heard from me in a bit, and you know, I hadn't heard from him either, but he says, hey, look, the weekends suck, especially in Delaware. If you're not from Delaware, you don't know, man. We don't like a lot of tourists coming in here because they clog up the highways. And if they clog up the highways, you know they're clogging up the waterways. And it is absolutely insane out there, here in the inlets here and out in the bays and everything else. So I have to try to take a day off during the week, which it'll be slower, and that's what Captain Frank says that's the best time to go out. But I've been reading the fishing reports, and things have not been too swift out there in the bay and the ocean. It's been very slow out there as well, again, because of the heat. So stick with us, guys. We're going to try to get through these heat waves that we're going through, because it's just normal for Delaware. But I'm sure we're going to try to land some big, decent bass. We just got to put our efforts forth. So if you like this video, guys, obviously give us a big fat thumbs up, man. Just drop down below, hit that thumb right there. Drop a comment below, let us know what you think about these videos. Subscribe, push that notification bell, share this video out, and as always, guys, fish on.